I spent 5 years hiding my relationship with my mother's wealthy best friend, Vivian Shaw, only to watch her walk through my front door holding hands with a stranger she claimed was her secret boyfriend. To understand how my secret romance turned into a public nightmare, we have to look at the lie Vivian and I built. For half a decade, I was the hidden lover, the younger man kept in the shadows to protect her reputation and her friendship with my mother. Then came the bombshell. My mother casually announced that Vivian was finally bringing over the mystery man she had been dating for 5 years to meet the family. Panic surged through me. I tried to call Vivian for a warning, but she ghosted me, claiming she was in a meeting. When the doorbell rang, I opened it expecting a confrontation, but instead, I found Vivian arm in arm with a man named Leo, someone who definitely wasn't me. She froze the moment she saw me, her smile stiffening into terror as she asked what I was doing there, completely forgetting in her panic that this was my mother's house. I watched in agony as my mother ushered them inside, oblivious to the fact that her best friend was dating her son while parading a decoy in front of us. Dinner was torture. Vivian avoided my eyes, openly flirting with Leo and accepting bites of pasta from his fork while shooting me desperate silent pleas to play along. I swallowed my rage, forcing a polite smile while my insides burned. That night, after hours of silence, she finally answered my call only to offer a vague cold non-apology before hanging up on me. I was left suffocating in the realization that after 5 years of devotion, I was still just a dirty secret she refused to acknowledge. But the twist came in the form of a text message from Leo himself. He sent me a location pin for a jewelry store, asking me to pick up a custom ring Vivian had ordered. Hope flared in my chest, maybe. This was her way of apologizing, a grand gesture meant for us. I rushed to the store breathless, only for the clerk to hand me a box containing 2 bands engraved with the names Vivian and Leo, shattering my hope into a million jagged pieces. Inside the band, the word love was elegantly engraved in a beautiful stylized font that felt less like a romantic gesture, and more like a blade twisting in my gut. I stood in the jewelry store for a long time, but instead of the explosive anger or hysteria I expected, a strange hollow calm settled over me. I thanked the clerk, pocketed the evidence of my own replacement, and took a cab straight to Vivian's office. Vivian, the perennial workaholic, was still there, but so was the rumor mill. As I walked in, I overheard her team buzzing with gossip, betting on how quickly she had hooked up with the new guy Leo, noting they had left together just last night. I stood frozen as the elevator dinged open and Vivian stepped out, catching me in the middle of the scandal. Fury and shame flashed in her eyes as she barked at her staff to get back to work, scattering them like frightened birds before dragging me into her office. She immediately launched into damage control, swearing that she and Leo had only gone home together for documents and that nothing had happened. I lied and told her I believed her, watching the relief wash over her face. Then, without a word, I placed the ring box on her desk. Her head snapped up, guilt written all over her features as she realized I had the package. I played dumb, forcing a laugh as I told her Leo had sent me to pick it up and commenting that it must be for someone very important. Vivian didn't deny it. She gently took the box, a tender smile spreading across her face as she confirmed, yes, it was for someone very important. Hearing that confirmation shattered the last of my resolve. I excused myself, terrified I would break down right there in her office, but she was so mesmerized by the ring she barely noticed me leave. I walked home slowly, indulging in a pathetic fantasy that she would run after me and reveal this was all an elaborate surprise for our wedding. But the street remained empty, and my phone remained silent. I reached my apartment knowing it was over, ready to end things cleanly the next day, but just as I resigned myself to the breakup, my phone buzzed. Vivian had sent me photos of 2 top-tier graphics cards, the exact models I had begged for 6 months ago, only to be scolded for wasting time on games. Now, out of nowhere, she was dangling the very gift she had once refused, pulling me back into her orbit just as I was trying to escape. I stared at the question mark I had sent, my heart foolishly leaping when she asked which graphics card was better for a guy. I spent hours explaining the specs, chatting until 3 a.m., convincing myself that this was her way of apologizing, her way of buying me the expensive gift I had always wanted. But my hope was a fragile thing easily shattered by a single Facebook post. I opened Leo's page and froze. There it was, a screenshot of Vivian's order confirmation for the exact graphics cards we had just discussed, captioned with a smug declaration that true love means knowing your partner's preferences. The cards weren't for me, I was just the unpaid consultant helping her buy the perfect gift for my replacement. I sat in stunned silence before leaving a final comment, wishing them a lifetime of happiness. Vivian called immediately, not to apologize, but to scream at me for being aggressive and accusing me of jealousy over a stupid graphics card. Her rage only solidified my calm. I told her I meant the blessing sincerely, and after a long hitched silence, she ordered me to her office the next morning for an explanation. When I arrived, I watched from the sidewalk as Vivian drove off with Leo, leaving me behind again. A text commanded me to fetch a gift box from her desk and meet her at the estate where we had our first date, the place she once promised we would get married. I retrieved the box, ignoring the office gossip about Vivian buying Leo a supercar worth millions and the lewd rumors about their sex life. I laughed bitterly at my own naivety, realizing I had been a joke from the very beginning. I took a taxi to the estate, walking onto the lawn where Vivian was laughing with her friends. They looked at me with open contempt, seeing nothing but a spineless fool at her beck and call. Vivian snatched the box from my hands, checking for the supercar key inside without even a thank you. When I didn't leave, she snapped, accusing me of trying to ruin Leo's birthday. I simply smiled calm and final and delivered the only explanation I needed. I wasn't there to ruin anything. I was there to tell her we were breaking up. Welcome to share your feelings in the comment section. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you want to see more story content, please check out the other videos on my channel.